Hello, YouTube. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another cool time with Blessed. And today we'll be showcasing something different. I thought we're cool to um, build the Active Directory domain on this Windows 2008. Um, but the other one I was working with for my testing got bad or crashed, and I couldn't recover it. So I'm trying to build a new one. And I have this script which I normally would use. So I thought we'd just go to record this and show you guys how you can also replicate this in your own lab environment. Not on the production environment, obviously, on the lab environment, build the Active Directory. Uh, uh, Completely on the Windows system with host and some misconfiguration that you can go test after while you're trying to sharpen your skills enumerating Windows domain. So this is the script: invoke populate ad.ps1, and I'm going to walk you guys through what it is basically on a high level. We can see the first part of it here is info about the domain. So basically defining those global variables for the domain, the ad user, ad group, the shares as well, the share, as of the share description, user title, the base directory, and a couple of other child entities and folders. You can clearly see how the definition is going on over here. I could go all the way down. You can see it's clearly defined what I want this to look like in terms of for instance, if you look at the user title, you can see we've got IT admin, DB admin, software developers. Each of these are not really groups, but seem like a caption title where we're grouping users or putting users into or adding users into as we proceed with the other part of the codes. So default password, I'm setting a default password. Obviously, this is one thing we also see around kind of my experience pen testing. Most times you find there is a default global password, which is a bad thing anyways. So I can also see that I'm adding users, random users. For instance, I've got a bunch of these names over there, random. You can build this to, I'll leave the link to this as well and attach this video in case you want to modify this to do what you want it to do. You can also see a couple of other things which have been done here, but I'm just going to scroll apart from the group names that have been created: corporate finance, administrator, engineering, sales, to reflect what you find in a normal environment actually. And for me, it's specific to banks that I've actually been around doing pen tests for, so I'm trying to reflect what I've seen, kind of like. Then we can also see the roles, the forests, and the group creation as well, and the fixed user creations as well. But I'm pretty much interested from the point where I'm creating the bulk users, so we can see the way it's been clearly defined in the variables and the way I'm calling them to execute the task that I want it to do. And all the way through here, you should be able to understand what is happening, adding users, giving them permissions, and doing all the stuff. Then for computer account creation, you can also see the same thing happening here. Putting all that in groups, computer accounts. Then I had shown you guys my workflow, and you found ASP rep roasting. I'm trying to build the stage for that as well, so I'll be able to test for that within this script. Once I execute this script, it's going to prepare that for me. I probably will be able to find some user falling within that space where I can grab the hash and do what I want to do. Also, cable roasting, building that clearly seeing my SQL server happening there. We'll be checking all these, and also the default password is being set. Then the ACLs, you can see ACL has been created here as well. And then we can see the parameter mandatory set to true. Just to show you guys something, remember when I was showcasing that my workflow in the Xmind, you can see that does not require preauths. This is basically what AF rep roasting basically takes advantage of. Does not require pre-authentication. So Kerberos pre-authentication is disabled specifically. So we're going after this. We'll be going after this to take advantage of that. Then for here, we can see the ACLs have been created and the policy being enforced. Over here, the LDAP environment being built as well. We can see that it's allowed. Then I could go on and on and on. There's a whole bunch of GPOs as well being created. You can see some group policy objects being created for firewall rules, basically opening the ports for WinRM, which we'll be also testing against. Then also, I plan to keep this video pretty short, so I may not be able to go into details, but I'll leave the scripts for you to go play around with. We can also see some registry policy created here to manage registry keys, which we'll be taking advantage of as well for our testing. Then we can see the box share creation and the child element created for folders and a bunch of other stuffs. Okay, we invoke the share, removal of share, the removal of AD object, and all the way through the end of the script. Cool. So I'm going to copy this repo and clone it on my Windows. I'm just going to mention it's a bit slow. I'm going to copy this, go into my Windows bash, then I'll git clone, paste this. I'm cloning this. I think I'm in the current directory that .NET framework. Okay, I'll have to pause this video to get this fixed, then I'll come back to you guys. Okay, so now we have the repo cloned on the Windows system, and we can see it right. It's right there. I'm just going to go into the folder, and we should have the PS1 file in there. So we'll take it up from here to executing that file, and we will see how to probably get that running to build a Windows Active Directory environment for us. Okay, just a quick walkthrough on what I've done to get this working. So first, I discovered that .NET framework is not installed, so I had to get that installed. Tried to install manually, didn't work, so I had to first quickly, because this was me spinning up a brand new server, so I had to go install the Active Directory from the server manager, then also installed a couple of other seeds of pendables or dependencies that Active Directory comes with. Then secondly, you can see I'm changing the default execution policy in PowerShell to be unrestricted, to be able to allow me run the scripts and install the module. So even as I'm trying to run it, it's still giving me the security warning, which is pretty cool. That's the basic level. So it's for me to decide if I want to run the script still. I want to still not run the script. So if you read through this, do you want to run these? D, do not run. R, run once. S, suspend. Okay, it didn't even give me the option to run multiple times, just one. So I'm just going to type R there and enter. Okay, been thrown with errors. We'll try to go figure these errors out and get this script running back again. Okay, so after several other fixes, I finally able to get this thing running. And quickly, what I've done was to go into services. Basically, if I type run here, just to show you guys, services.msc. I had to start the Active Directory service and also the Active Directory web service. They're very critical because that wouldn't run if I don't start it. I won't be able to import the module and also be able to start the module, run the module. Okay, so all that worked very fine. I've been able to import the module. Now we're going to execute the command to probably start building the environment. Then I guess when we're done, we'll go check out what we have built. Okay, so what I have currently is to invoke the loaded object and the domain. I'm passing the cptsecure.org. Basically, that's what we'll be using. Then I'm limiting users to 250. I want to keep this pretty small, not like the other one, which had about 2,700 users. So if I run this command, I probably should start building the environment for us. We'll just wait for this to complete. That's how it's done running. Probably. So we can see it's running and it's building, creating the user objects at the start. It's going to create about 250 of them. We can see the unique names. Basically, it's doing the random. If you have looked at the code, let me see if I can open that using PowerShell. So we can actually view the code and see what it looks like. I think I would better open it with PowerShell ISE. Yeah, wait for that to load, or even Notepad plus plus probably would have been able to open that in and view it for me. I think I've got Notepad plus here. Open it. Then a new one. Be on the desktop. In here, that's it. So quickly, if we look at it, the first part is actually trying to write the host. That's what has been working. Okay, this one is. Shut this down. So it's done writing the host, I think, and it's creating the computer. Oh, we've seen a bunch of errors related to the GPUs, but no problem. I guess we'll go check that out by the time we're done. Users done, creating the bulk object and computers, then a few random data. Then we can see the Kerberos service happening. The GPU failed, so we'll check that out later. I guess it's an issue with the parameter cannot be found to match. Okay, check that out. The dossier let issue. Okay, check that out as well. But these ones are working up pretty fine. It's building all these objects. Raw creating shared objects. So we're gonna create shared objects from salary details. Okay. Throwing some errors for me there. I'll have to go check that out. Creating local directory tools. Okay. I think it's done. The domain had been populated, although we got a few errors. So we'll go look at what it seems like at the moment. So currently, if we go into Active Directory, domain and services, and just to look around, probably starting from the domain user, it's a bit slow. See what it looks like. We can see the cptck.org is there. We can see happened. Oh, great. Okay, I was almost surprised. All right, so we can see the 250 users and the groups which we've created. We can see DNS administrator, DNS client, allow workstation, and all domain guests. Now, this is built to mimic a default configuration around Active Directory. So we will be testing this in our testing. You can see a bunch of these built-in OUs, and we can see the way they are being represented to reflect what a true environment looks like. Then as well, we can see we have some computers, unique names as well. Okay, application servers, SQL servers, backup servers, web servers, a bunch of these VNC servers as well. Then we can see the domain controller. I think at the moment we just have this one. Probably would have renamed this from Vagrant. Oh, it was built from Vagrant, obviously. Then in the foreign security, nothing is there. In the managed services, nothing is there. So we have this built currently. Just to look around and also configure an application server over here. You can see it's running pretty fine. DNS server as well, file printing, and web server as well. So we'll be hosting something here as well as a bunch of other ports that are open randomly hosting other services. So this server is kind of multiple service role, which obviously I have seen in some environments. So which means we'll be taking advantage of all the services running here. For instance, if I maybe show you guys what it looks like by running probably an nmap scan, a quick nmap scan, just to show me all the services. Let me verify the IP address 192.168.151. So let me grab my terminal and just run a basic nmap scan so we can see what it looks like if I close the video. Okay, I'm going to clear the screen nmap because I'm connected to the same network, maybe tag SSV. That should be fine. I think I'm just going to run 192.168.8.151, I guess. All right, let me see what it looks like. All the ports and the services running on this server, because like I did say, we're done with the build. We've verified our build. It all looks pretty okay the way we want it to be. A bunch of default configurations have been rolled in here. So we're carrying out, if I may open the Xmind thing just to show you guys. Um, while the nmap is running, try not to get this video beyond 15 or 16 minutes. But I see it's already exceeded 15 minutes. So if you don't mind, I might pause it, then come back when I have my results. Okay, so this is what it looks like at the moment. Remember, we've done this first part, but we probably will be replicating everything from this new AD environment we've created, and also this new server. So we've done this first part, we've done the second part. We'll be taking up from here service name, that's cable roasting, then also be doing the ASP roasting, then doing some unconstrained and constrained delegation, and a couple of other seeds of things which we'll be doing. Also, I think I've put out a video to show how we can use Pin Castle to do high-level audits to grab quick understanding of the entire Active Directory domain, find flaws, then know how we can go about that, exploiting them. Okay, so let's go check my nmap. It's not done. I'm going to pause the video, come back when it's done. Okay, so our scan is done. Now we can see a ton load of ports and services open here, starting from SSH. We'll be exploiting each of these as well in subsequent video, which we'll be recording. Yes, I can see obviously this is pretty old. You can as well see this DNS, there's the port 80, which is where we've got the HTTP thing happening. There's a Kerberos sec. We've taken advantage of all these. Cool stuff. All right, so we can see also some Java legacy stuff happening here. But I think the JBoss agent also listening to the whole JAgent thing working out here in Apache as well. So we'll be taking advantage of most of these services in this recording. We can see the domain quickly. If I had done a vulnerability scan, obviously we would have seen a bunch of them being flagged from just nmap. All right, thank you for sticking out with me again. And now we've got the server built. I believe you can replicate this in your environment, build yours. Then you can go ahead and start testing. I will leave a link to the script in the description. You can just grab it there. Feel free to modify it, because I also got it from somewhere and I was able to make a lot of changes to reflect what I want it to look like. Then also feel free to do that. Then leave a comment, please like, subscribe, and just keep the channel growing. Thanks, and see you in the next recording. Bye.